Think you getting the respect you deserve? we was looking at what that damn Pepsi thing, whatever, and Neighbors and Jaden, who's your boys anyway.
Yeah.
But you know, you kind of going under the radar for a quick 1,300.
Yeah.
Going under the radar. You think you getting the respect you deserve in this league?
Me personally, nah, I don't think so.
Always felt like my vision being bigger than a bigger picture.
I'm starting to think, is Brian Thomas Jr. better than Malik Nabers? Because both players were rookies last year. They both had good years. They both were good college players. They both were exceptional high school athletes. It seems like they've been competing since high school, right? If you go back to high school in 24/7 sports, Brian Thomas Jr. was the better recruit. He was a 4-star, 69th ranked overall player, 9th ranked wide receiver. Malik Nabers was also a 4-star. He was the 150th ranked overall player and 19th ranked wide receiver. So then we move on to college. Obviously, they both went to LSU. But Nabers had the better college career. Nabers was consistent All-American, first team All-Conference. He was a bowl game MVP. He was a freshman All-SEC. In his last year in college, he had 1,569 yards to go along with 14 touchdowns. He was drafted in the first round, 6th overall, by the New York Giants. Then you got Brian Thomas Jr. For his college career, he was 3rd team All-American. He was 2nd team All-Conference. In his last year, he had 1,117 yards to go along with 17 touchdowns. So he had more touchdowns but less yards than Nabers. He was also drafted in the first round, but he was 23rd overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars. As of today and present day, they're both highly regarded wide receivers in the league after just one season in the NFL. And both guys performed exceptionally in their rookie years. It says that while Nabers had more receptions, he had 109 receptions, to Thomas's 87 receptions in their rookie year, Brian Thomas Jr. pretty much played better than Nabers in all aspects in the game. He had more yards. Brian Thomas had 1,282 yards. Malik Nabers had 1,204 yards. So, you know, a little under 80 more yards. He had more touchdowns. Brian Thomas had 10 touchdowns. Malik Nabers had 7. So pretty close, but Thomas gets the nod. Thomas averaged more yards per reception than Nabers. Thomas averaged 14.7. Nabers averaged 11. And with all that being said, Nabers had more targets than Brian Thomas. Nabers had 170 targets. Brian Thomas had 133 targets. Right? But we're not going to sit here and not act like Thomas is in a better offensive scheme than Nabers. Like Brian Thomas has Trevor Lawrence, former first round draft pick, where Malik Nabers was playing with me at quarterback, it seemed like at times. So Nabers is making the best of what he got in his rookie year. But he had more targets. This year is going to say a lot because he has some vets in that quarterback room. He has Russell Wilson. He has Jameis Winston. Then he got some young bucks and Jackson Dart from Ole Miss. I believe he got drafted first round. So, I mean, if you're looking at rookie rankings, they're saying that some analysts are saying Thomas was considered a better first round pick. And some others have Nabers ranked higher. You know, the NFL Top 100 lists are coming out. They got Malik Nabers ranked 67th, and they got Brian Thomas ranked 61st. So these are two former college teammates who have been competing since high school, and it seems like they're going to be competing in the league for a very long time. The question is Brian Thomas getting overlooked? Because when you have these top 10 wide receiver lists, you know, Neighbor name gets mentioned, even though he didn't crack the top 10 yet, but you never hear Brian Thomas's name. And I'm not gonna lie, the fact that Brian Thomas had the 3rd most receiving yards in the NFL as a rookie, it's hard not to say that he's not the better receiver. Nabers is definitely dynamic. I think this year, both players, they got good quarterbacks. We know Russell Wilson had a down year with the Broncos, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. He had a real down year. But Russell Wilson can still play quarterback at a high level. Jameis Winston, he can throw the ball. He gonna throw some picks, but he gonna get you the rock. So, and then we all know Trevor Lawrence, even though he hasn't reached expectations as the former first overall pick, highest high school recruit ever, he's still a good quarterback. So I think both players being in their second year is going to say a lot. Now, Brian Thomas already had less targets than Malik Nabers, and his targets seem like they're going to go probably a little lower because they have second overall pick on their team now and Travis Hunter Jr. You know they're going to feed him the rock. I still think that Thomas is going to eclipse the 1,000-yard mark. I think he might not reach 1,300 this year. I think he might have like 1,100. I think Nabers' stats are going to go crazy. And this is crazy because this isn't the first time in history where you have LSU teammates compete in college and now in the NFL. You got Justin Jefferson, you got Jamar Chase. I view Nabers as the Jamar Chase, the high draft pick, killed it in college, and Thomas Jr. as a Justin Jefferson. Respectable, got drafted later on, but when they got to the league, turned it up. So comment below your thoughts. Who you think is the better player? Who would you rather have? Like I said, I think as of right now, Thomas is a better player, but I think I'd rather have Nabers. I think Nabers is going to turn it up. And yeah, get in the comments and let me know what you guys think. Are we disrespecting Brian Thomas Jr.? Talk to you guys next time.